Thank you. Okay, so for this one, how I'm going to approach this, as I like to kind of look at it to see, you know, when you create that first base sketch and profile, I'd like to capture as many features as possible. And the way that I approached this was I actually created it from this view. So I think I put my origin on this corner and I went all the way around and I created that profile and then extruded it the entire depth. Okay, so 6.5 inch deep. And then I put the cuts on the front so that would be done there, so that these angle cuts would be on there. And then I added the rest of the holes. So that's how I'm gonna approach it here when I do this model. So I'm gonna go over to SolidWorks. I'm gonna close my knurled head screw, and we're gonna start new again with an ANSI inch template. I'm gonna do an extrude boss base. And I'll do the right view because it is a right view. I'm going to do it there. And I'm going to do a line. I'm going to start the origin at that middle left-hand corner. So I'm going to do my widest part at the top here in line, like this, this, up and over. I'm going to use a chamfer on the front. Okay. So I'm going to just do this as a sharp corner going all the way around. And then now I'm going to add my dimensions. Now I want to make sure that this line and this line are collinear. So when I change that dimension, if I need to, of 2.5, they go together. So I'm going to add a relation from this line to that line. And I want those to be collinear, so that again, they go together all the time. I'm going to add a smart dimension this side to 5. Height, using the dimensions right from that drawing, that right side view. This is going to be 2.5. Oh, 2.75, not 2.5. So, oopsie. There we go, 2.75. And then down here, 4.5 from the top to the bottom. The width this way is 2.375. And then from here to here is a 1/2 inch. And I should be fully defined, and I am. So here are my dimensions. And I'll keep this here for you for a second. And again, I added the relation of collinear between these two short lines. So once I'm fully defined, I can exit my sketch, and I am going to, what was that? Oh, I'm going to do a mid-plane extrude. And the reason I'm going to is because when we look at this part, there is like a plane that goes through the middle here, and we're symmetrical on either side. So I'm going to do mid-plane, and it's going to be 6.5 inches wide. So I'm going to go from blind to mid-plane extrude 6.5. Oopsie. 6.5. There we go. Okay. So there is my initial extrude. Okay. I'll do a file, save as, and this is the locator block 1. I'm calling it 1 just because. And then I'm going to rename base profile. Okay. Just as I said earlier, we're going to put the chamfer on the front here. Okay. And I'm going to do that as a feature. So I'm on my feature tab, arrow down, chamfer on this edge right here. So I'm going to tip it forward a little bit right here at that edge. And we want that to be 0.375. Nice generous lead in there. Okay. File save. There we go. And then, as I said earlier, so right now we have a solid block and this is there. So we're going to cut out these 2 corners on either side. I'm going to create one and then I'm going to mirror it. So it's going to be an extrude cut, getting rid of that portion in the front view. It doesn't really matter, whichever one. I'll do my cutouts first. So I'm going to do an extrude cut and I'm going to do it on, doesn't really matter. I'm going to do it on that surface here. And then I'm going to do my line. I'm going to go from that bottom corner up. And you're just going to create a rectangle in one of the corners. Oops, triangle, not a rectangle. Ah, shoots. I didn't get that to meet. I'm just going to delete it. Do it over one more time. A line from there up. And then make sure you get back to connect it. Okay, that's what I didn't do the first time. All right, so now I've got my triangle in place right here. And if I look here, it's right there and I want to cut it all the way through. And now I've just got to dimension it. So on the other side, I've got smart dimension from the back surface to that side, 3.75. And then from the origin, from the middle to this corner is going to be half of 3.38, 3.375. So that's going to be 3.375 divided by 2, 1.6875. What was that? Nope. Nope, I didn't convert anything. Oh, you can. Yes, you can. I know. I always go on my thing. All right. So now those are the dimensions. I should be fully defined. No, I just sketched. I didn't have to convert anything. I just sketched over the top. So there's my triangle. And I am going to exit my sketch and it's going to go all the way through. It's a blind right now. I just want to do a through all so that it goes all the way through that chunk. And we're going to say, okay. And now that part is gone. It's only the one side though. So I am going to rename this as triangle cut. And with that selected, I'm going to mirror that over, I'm going to expand out my locator block here, and I'm going to go over the right plane. And then I'm going to see it on this side. Okay. And that's why the mid plane extrude earlier made sense, because now I have a plane that I can actually mirror that cut about. And I can say, okay, and now it's cut on both sides. And that can be a file save. The next thing we have those little undercuts, okay? Right here, the undercuts, these are a diameter of 0.125. The center of that diameter is going to be where those two edges come together on either side. So go back to SolidWorks and I'm going to do an extrude cut. I'm going to go on this plane right here. And I'm going to do a circle right at that corner. That's going to be my origin. Right there. Okay. And then we can trim. These I have to convert. These I have to convert. I'm going to convert this entity and that entity into my current sketch. Okay. Now, when I do my trim, I can get rid of this, this, and that. No, I did that wrong. Dang it. Erase that. I did an undo. I got to do the outside. Sorry. I got to get rid of this, this, and that, because I want what's left over on the inside. And then I think I have to dimension that. So I didn't do that yet. 0.125. It's a diameter, so it's 0.0625. It's a radius of 0.0625, diameter of 0.125. So radius of 0.0625. There we go. So that's on my corner there. Okay. So I'm just going to do I'm fully defined, exit the sketch. And now I want this to go either through all or up to next, because I want it to go the full length. So I've got it through all. Okay. And now we're going to do that very same thing on the other side. I could add a plane, but it's easy enough to add it. So I'm just going to do an extrude cut on this surface do that very same thing again. It's not hard or complicated, right at the corner there. Okay, smart dimension. This one we can do as a diameter because it's still together. Diameter 0.125. I'm going to convert entities, this one and that one again. And then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to get rid of the outsides and that part right there. So that we have a closed loop right there, fully defined. Exit the sketch. Should be a through all as well. And then we've got the two undercuts. So I'm going to do rename top undercut. And I'll call the second one the bottom undercut. You could also put it in as part of the profile. It really doesn't matter which way you do it. If you do them as separate features or if you do it as part of that original profile. File save. Okay. Then the last part is to add all of our holes, and there's quite a few. So, so if we go back over here, I'm going to start by putting, let's see here. I think we need the 3 in here first. So I'm going to do the through hole of 0.9375 for these 3 holes. They're going to be 3.5625 down from the back here. And then they're going to be centered with a distance of 2.75 apart on the outside. So the first diameter I'm going to put is the through of 0.9375. So I'm going to go here. I'm trying to think if I'm going to put them in as cuts or as hole wizard. I could do them as the hole wizard. So hole wizard, this surface, oopsie, regular hole. Don't do the dowel pins this time. Do all the drill sizes because we need 0.9375. Is that 15/16? I wish they 15/16, 0.9375. Yes, 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 yes. They show you the call out down here, but they always show it in fractional up on the top. I wish they would put in parentheses the decimal equivalent up here, but they don't. I see it. Yeah, it's down below. Yep. Oh, it's right there. Oh my goodness. Thank you. You know, I've looked at this a million times and I've always been like, I wish they would put the decimals in there. And there it is. Thank you. Okay, 0.375. Excellent. So now we have that set up. We can do our positions. We're going to select on this surface right here. And we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. And then we just need to add our dimensions. So I'm going to go up to Smart Dimension between here and here. This is going to be 2.75. Between here and here is going to be 1.375. And then I'm going to add a relation between the origin and that center hole. I want those to be vertical. Okay. And then one last smart dimension. One last smart dimension from the backside to the center. That is going to be 3.5625, but I need to make sure that all 3 of these are going to go together. So I'm going to go add relation, and I'm going to go from here to here. I think I can do the third one and make them all horizontal. I can. Excellent. They were, and now they're black and fully defined. So make sure that you put horizontal between all 3 and then vertical between the middle one and the origin. That way it always stays right there. And then you'll get everything to come out. So now that I'm fully defined, I can hit OK. And then those are going to go through. So those are the through holes first. Now, if we look, Those are the through holes. We've got counter bores of 1 inch coming in from the back side, And that counter bore is only going to be 1 inch deep. It doesn't go all the way through. That's going to be for one of the drill bushings. Okay. That's this right here. Right there. That symbol. And then this is the depth symbol. So if I zoom in here, I know it's kind of light, but here's the counter bore symbol. And here is the depth of that counter bore. So that means that this is coming in from the opposite side, and this is only 1 inch right there. Go back to SolidWorks. Okay, so we're going to do Hole Wizard again. So we're going to do Hole Wizard. This time we're going to do the same drilled hole, all the drill sizes, but we're going to pick 1 inch. Okay. And then we're going to go down here for the end condition. We're going to change it to blind, and that distance needs to be 1 inch because it's going to go 1 inch from the surface that we choose, which is going to be the back side this time. Okay. So now we're going to go to position. So make sure you're blind 1 inch. Go to position, and we're going to rotate this around with your middle mouse button, and you're going to click on this surface right here. Okay. And now we want to activate the center of each one of these, and then click on that center. Activate the next one. Activate the next one. Isn't it going to go there? And activate that center. And then activate the third one and go to that center. And you want each one of these to be concentric to each one of those. You're going to notice that down here it says fully defined, because we click the centers of each. If you don't, you can just add a relation for those to be concentric. And then now I can just hit, I'll hit Smart Dimension so I'm in here, but you can see I'm fully defined, and all of the stars in the center are black. So I can simply hit the OK button, and there are my counter bores. They're not real big, but they're right there. Okay. So the through holes, and then these are the counter bores from the opposite side, which are going to accommodate the drill bushings. Okay, so that's my first set of holes. My second set of holes, we can put in either one. I think the next ones I'm going to go up to the center here, and I'm going to do these 3. So from there, it's going to be 2.125 up. This is on center. And then these are going to be 5 inches apart, or 2.5 from center. All right, so this time we're going to do another Hole Wizard, because it's a diameter of 6.41, or I wrote it down 41/64. So we're going to do a regular drill, all the drill sizes, but now I won't need that anymore. It was 41/64. Right here, 0.641. Okay. And we're going to change that blind to through all. Okay. So otherwise it's only going to go down 1 inch. And then position, do not hit 3D sketch, hit this surface right here. Okay. And I'm going to have one here. I'm going to have one in the center, and I'm going to have one up there-ish. So now I'm going to add a relation first. I want my center one to be in line with the origin vertically. Ugh. I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to do undo, and I'm going to hit escape. So I had 2 of them selected. I did that before. Add a relation from the origin to that center hole, vertical. Okay, now that's there. Now I'm going to add a smart dimension from outside hole to the center to be 1/2 of 5, or 2.5. And then from the outside to the outside, and this is going to be 5. Okay. I'm not fully defined yet because I need to get my dimension vertically here. So from the center to the middle is going to be 2.125. And then from that middle hole down to one of these is going to be 0.6875. And then the distance between this one and the higher one is going to be 1.375. There we go. Now we should be fully defined. Okay, and we are. Making sure that you tie this to the origin. Okay. So now I can hit OK, and now those 3 holes are in. And again, it's nice that it renames it down over here so you know exactly what it is doing the hole wizard. It's on the 1.375. Yeah, it's on the print. Okay. So I've got my 2 dowel pins holes then to put in. Okay, so I'm going to use the hole wizard. And because these are dowel pins, then we're gonna identify it as dowel pins rather than the drill. So one last hole wizard. We're gonna do a through hole, but we're gonna do the type here as a dowel hole. And we're 3/4 of an inch, 0.75. Right here. Make sure that it's through all. Position on that surface. And we've got one here. And we've got one here. Now, I'm going to go back underneath. You're going to notice that this is in alignment this way and that way. I don't remember, you know what, I'm saying that out loud now. I don't know if I can add relations. I'm going to see. I'm going to see if I can add a relation from the center C to that hole. It's not going to let me. I don't think it's going to let me. Let me try again. Add a relation from this center to that hole. Yeah, it's only going to give me coincident or concentric. If I do coincident, yeah, it's going to push it down there. I don't want that. It's not giving me that vertical horizontal because I think it was in a previous sketch. So that's okay. We're just going to have to dimension it. I thought I could add relations and then it would be more closely fully defined, but that's okay. I don't know if I want to do that though, because it's a hole wizard. You know what I mean? If I was then going to use that and at that portion, yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. We'll just dimension. I'm going to be 5 wide. And then I just have to go from the origin to one side to center it 2.5. And those will be that way. And then I can dimension from one to the other from the other sketch. I can dimension, I just can't add relations between the two. And that's going to be my 0.6875. And then the distance between again is going to be the same 1.375.
So the other sketches, you have to touch the outside.
When we want to dimension to them, yes. I know, isn't that a little weird? And then you have to do the center when it's these. And that's only in the hole wizard. You can do it from center to center when you're in sketch mode, but not when you're in the hole wizard. And we can do okay. And we're fully defined, okay. And then those are our dowel pins. And then you can, it's nice because it says it's a dowel pin hole. So if we look, I think we've got all our features in place. All of our holes. Yeah. So we can do a file save for our locator block. And then just kind of scooch it over, rotate it a little bit, just so we can see all the features are there. This way, if I kind of go like that, I can see that the back one's in there, the undercut is there. And then any of the main features, I just want to see that your sketches are all fully defined. You don't need to do it for your hole wizard ones. Otherwise, we're going to get really, well, I guess you could get them in. Yeah, you could open them up. I think it's a good idea. Oopsie, because you could be not fully defined on some of those. Okay. So then I'm going to do a file save. And then this is what you're going to use for your screen snip on the model for our locator block.